Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to this segment of the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host again, and guess what? I'm sitting up here now looking for this gentleman that's sitting up here right next to me, and in the voters pamphlet and some of the material that I've been getting in the mail aspect of it. You've seen him before. It's Joseph. You've seen him, and he's running for city council. And as you know, again, like I said in the last show, it's very, very important. This is the living room of Oregon, the state of Oregon, and Multnomah County is right here, and we've got the city of Portland that's very much involved in District Number 2. I gave you the opportunity to see the candidate running in District Number 2. I got two of them on as opposed to the third one. I've not gotten any response back from her. So the name of the game is that then naturally, as you note, there's this relationship, all the stuff that we're having, all the problems we're having here within this particular area, the living room of Oregon, for that matter, and Multnomah County. And what you see on the media is always Portland. It's Portland. And Portland is not Multnomah County. It's part of, if anybody, if the chair of the living room, of the room, it's Multnomah County. And guess what? I have the seat. I'm sitting there. I'm running for chair of Multnomah County. That's another head. But right up front with you, I've invited every one of those individuals that are running for chair. And as I indicated it before in that other show aspect of it, we got 7 commissioners. We got 7 chairmen right now. We got 7 of them.
Just amazing.
We got 6 people that are running, and we got 1 person that's still sitting in the seat, and that person won't be gone until January. You got me? And right up front with you, so the next tier, and I'll be right up front, I'm lobbying for that, and I'm endorsing that right off the bat. We want a runoff. Yeah. See, then we've got 3 people. We got the sitting chair and the other 2 people that are running. You got me? And then we can still talk about those issues, because the concern I have right now, well, not one concern, but one of the things, one of the options that we have, and I notice it aspect of it, is that if we take it in those 3 increment aspect of it, we're talking about issues and solutions. So if we can make darn sure that those solutions exist to the end of January, I don't care who wins. They're going to have to respond to the issues with the solutions, and they're going to have to respond to that part. And at the same, who are they representing? The people.
The people.
Because Joseph was here, and in fact, I got that. It's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Exactly.
We are the voters, folks. You're paying those salaries. You know what I mean? You're voting them in. You got to, we got to pay attention to this. Very simple. We can solve this problem that we have right here in Portland, Oregon, for the state of Oregon, if you will. I mean, all these other cities and whatever, because this is the point. Because in all due respect, if we were able to take, right now, they just don't have the land right now. They got all kinds of monies to pick up the trash, and in fact, too much money, because it makes it easy for them to try to figure out a solution to picking up the trash or the graffiti or this, that, and the other. Because they got so much money, they just basically just throw the money out there and, okay, fine. When you get to picking up the trash on A Street, no problem. Okay. Then they'll move to B Street. And then they'll do over there, and then they'll move back to A Street. I mean, it goes back and forth. So look here. This is a very serious deal. That's what I'm doing here, sitting in this seat. Because guess what? I'm running for chair. Because I'm a very solution-oriented kind of a guy.
There we go.
I've been doing this stuff too long to be sitting up here talking to people who don't have any solution, meaning that I have to be, I'm worried about them doing.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about speaking as much.
and that's the thing. You brought
Welcome,
up to me.
Joseph.
Thank you. I appreciate being here, and appreciate being in front of everyone out there.
And he's running for city council, people. That's the position, District Number 2, right?
No, position 3.
Position 3.
Commissioner, position 3.
Position 3. Okay.
So
and Joanne is that's where Joanne Hardesty is. And where's the others? You got these other folks.
Position 2 on the other side
2,
there. Yes.
And there's Sandy Bailey or something.
Bali.
Okay, yeah. Let's see who we got another one here. You got. Gee, how many people are running?
I believe there's like nine positions for 9 candidates for position 2, and 11 candidates for position 3, and both those include the incumbents who are sitting in those chairs currently.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but with the events that we've seen in the last 2 years, I just don't feel that they've been doing their jobs for the taxpayers. So that's why I'm running. They're not doing the job they were asked to do, and I think that we need some people to step up and challenge them, and let's see if we can either remove them and get someone in like myself who's fired up to do the job,
Okay.
and make a change for Portland.
Okay. Well, I was just noticing here. Now, how many people you said were running in the position that you're running?
There are 11. I think there's only 6 in the book, though. Only
Okay.
6 of
Yeah.
them.
Well, it costs you to get in the book.
Yes, it does. $300.
$300, that's
Yes.
right. It costs you to get in the book. But the bottom line is that I've always announced if anybody, I'm out here. If
Yeah.
anybody wants to get on, they can give me a call, right? You got me?
There you go.
And then talk about it. You ready to debate too? You're the kind of a guy because I know how issue oriented you are.
Yes,
You
I
know,
am.
problem? And
Yes,
you know
I
your
am.
issues. You know your issues and you know your solutions. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
anyway,
like one of the things that you brought up with me earlier this week, and working together, teamwork. Everything is easier when you work as a team. So if Multnomah County and the city of Portland and maybe some of our state officials can come together to work as a team, we can bring resolve to a lot of issues quickly at a low expense to the taxpayers.
Okay.
And so I'm that's what I'm pushing for.
Right.
I like your ideas about, how Multnomah County really is around Portland. I mean, it encompasses Portland and Gresham and
Right.
and
Wood Village, all of those.
yes, exactly. So if we bring them all to the table to work on the issues, now we got not 2 minds or 5, we got 10. And Multnomah County owns some good land. We could utilize that, like you were saying. Portland starts with, okay, we're going to clean up the streets. We're going to start in this circle. Nobody can live here anymore. And we get it cleaned up. And we have maybe we have a chunk of land over here, 10 blocks down the road or whatever, that's available. So we'll put them in there while working with our nonprofits. We get the nonprofits that continue, who are already out there doing the job. Let's get them a little bit more involved.
And other services, yeah.
And with their services,
Okay.
we can start moving more people into shelters and getting them off the streets. Then hold it, we, instead of reinventing the wheel and starting something new like the Portland Response Team, why don't we just give that money to City Team Ministries, Portland Rescue Mission, Shepherd's Door, Cultivating Initiatives, just to name a couple. I haven't looked into them. Let's get the money to them and let them expand their nonprofit business to a bigger building, so that way they can house more people, because now they got a bigger building, which means what? More beds. And that's what we're worried about, people sleeping on the ground. And as we continue to expand our area and clean them up and move it out and make these, each area clean and sleeping free, tent free, we are going to see less people on the streets because we've put the nonprofits in the right place. And what happens? Multnomah County said, hey, we're going to back the city, get them in here. We've got this land over here. Now then, if we don't have resolve, we'll let the law enforcement officers, because that's what I want to do. I would like to get our law enforcement officers funded. I would like to get them fully staffed. So then, with their presence on the street, it'll also help those areas that we've cleaned up, because people know they can't be there anymore, so they won't challenge that. If law officers are driving that beat, they'll move out. And we keep doing that, we'll keep pushing them out. Not to be mean, but to get them into a place where they're safe. To get them into a place where they're getting off the drugs, the alcohol, or if they have a mental illness, that they get the treatment they need, because now they can be diagnosed. And oh, by the way, now we know who they are, we know where they're at, and we can actually do something about it.
Okay. On that particular note, now I'm going to, and that's why I brought Joe on today, because in all due respect, I'm going to wear my other hat now for a moment.
All right, I like it.
Because the kind of an attitude that I had when I filed to run for office, it's not about trying to keep my plan secretive
Exactly.
as far as the solution is concerned. So I'll share it. The idea was to share it the first day. I've shared it. In fact, I've shared it for 9 years. But the bottom line is that now that Joseph is here, because in all due respect, because as the Multnomah County and you got the city of Portland, the whole idea, because it's in Portland, Multnomah County reaches out to Portland
Right.
to sit at the table to talk about their issues and problems.
Exactly.
But because it's so huge and whatever, this might be a situation, because if we can clean up that to begin with, then the other three districts that I represent,
right.
the three districts will be looking at the solution of solving the Portland problem.
Thank
got
you.
me?
Yes.
And that's the city of Portland. And normally all the commissioners and the mayor are sitting at the table.
Right.
Okay, and on the other side of the coin, over here for the county, the other four commissioners,
Right.
four district commissioners are sitting at the table.
Exactly.
Okay? Including district number 2.
Yes.
Including the 3, because by all of them being at that same table, we're having this discussion, but two's leading the dish. Two's leading it, if
Right.
you will, and since we haven't districtized the city of Portland yet, you know what I'm saying? A person like yourself who's more sensitive about this piece, because I reached out.
Right.
You're
Yes,
the
you
only
did.
one that basically responded to my call. But the fact of the matter, you're basically representing the city. You got
Right.
me?
Yeah.
And here I am representing the county. And because I have to be the most responsible person, if you will, because of the nature of what my responsibility is.
Correct.
Fair?
Gotcha.
Got me?
I gotcha.
So here comes the plan, as I see it. And looking at the whole situation, I find that everybody's talking about the issues.
Right. Got a lot of
but
that going.
The key is that the solution, now they've got solution in certain aspect of it, but you can't really clean up a spot and continue cleaning it back and forth if you want to clean up the city.
Yeah. Well, see, and we've seen that.
Yeah, right,
we've
right.
seen them do, like you were talking about. They clean up Street A,
Yep,
and
yep.
so everybody moves over to Street B,
Yep.
and then they clean up Street B, so they push them out, and they're back on Street A.
Right,
You know,
right,
so
right,
we're
right.
seeing that's all they do is move to different
Right, right,
areas,
right, right,
a little bit
right.
further apart, but they just run in a circle, and we're not having a solution.
Okay, now here the big solution to the big problem is that we got to find a piece of land.
Right.
And we do have someone at the city, i.e., and I guess that's Dan, Dan Ryan. He's the housing guy, and I read
Position
it.
two.
It's a pretty good. It's a good fit to a certain degree, because I know that his brother, remember?
Oh, yeah.
His brother
I remember you
died,
talking about that.
His brother
Yeah.
died and whatever, but he was out there on the street aspect of it.
Right.
And so he's got a compassion for that. So that's a good piece. You got me?
Right.
But they've got people like yourself out there who basically have to deal with, and you've expressed yourself, the things the problems you were having with those entities.
Right,
Yeah. But
exactly.
you're representing the public. And plus the fact you're representing the entire city because it's not districtized, right? You got me?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
consequently, you guys have been discussing, and I'm talking now from the county standpoint, got me? And I'm saying, so you guys have been talking, you got the money, because all the money is being given to you guys, but you got good ideas. You got the building, the housing, this, that, and the other. But guess what? We got to get, you got to kind of find a piece of land to put those people that people are really concerned with. Those
Yeah.
people on the sidewalks and the tents.
That's right.
And the mentally ill and this, that, and the other.
Yes.
And even some of the, in all due respect, people that have committed crimes, if you will, and the drugs. And
We know we have that.
We got folks out there, and there's no way of being able to deal with. So I'm saying we got to find a piece of land. So here's my thoughts about the land piece, picking them up. We need to pick them up. A lot of times people say, well, you want to pick them up? They say, well, I don't do this. I pick that up to Wapato. People didn't want. We shouldn't have sold.
No, that was a bad
we should
deal.
never have sold that piece. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, we sold it, and I fought that when I was running. That was one of the reasons why I ran. But guess what? It's like anything else. You go through the process.
Right.
And if that was the policy that was there, and they voted on it, boom. I'm a taxpayer.
It's a done deal.
Okay, it's a done deal. I might not have voted for it, but guess what? 51% or better.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Okay. But the bottom line is that facility there has initially the way it was laid out had 500 beds.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, but the person that's there, another nonprofits there, identified 250 beds.
So
So
we
it's
had
got
bunk
two-
beds in there before, and they took the bunk beds out
it
and
was
single.
fully equipped.
Yeah.
It was fully equipped. It was awesome. But the bottom line, that's some bunk bed. Then you got Inverness Jail.
Inverness over
You
off
got
of
some-
122nd
okay,
there.
So that's about 300 and some odd bail, as I understand that the sheriff has shared with us the other day.
Right.
About how many beds are sitting up there. 350 beds there, another 250, and then there's a lot. There's a lot of area, by the way, at the Wapato jail aspect of it.
Right.
They can put some more housing there. My point is that you get that, and then the idea is that I figure there's about 2,000 beds with the government side.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just
All right.
doing it. But then the other side of the coin is that you know when you start thinking about what happens when law enforcement picks up someone who's broken the law, they take them to the jail, i.e., with the county. That's
Exactly.
what I do. Okay.
Yes.
So the county, we got county jail, and at the county jail, they're the one that vets them when they walk in there. They clean them up, find out blah, 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 who they are.
Exactly.
And they point them for different directions, et cetera,
And
et
that's
cetera, et
how we
cetera.
get ID on them. We
It-
have
it-
a name,
that's
where
right,
they're
that's right,
from,
that's right, that's
and
right.
why they're on
That's
the
right,
streets.
that's right,
We
that's
get all
right,
that
that's-
information.
And that point that you made about the fact of the matter is that they can't bring their drugs in, if you will.
Exactly.
You got me? And they got to be clean, if you will.
Right.
And their mental illness, if they're mental illness, fine. But they've got places to go to, like you said, those services. They got all that, and they basically do that piece. That was working.
Yeah.
That was working. Now, the name of the game, if we're talking about 2,000 people, and then let's say they've got beds for, let's say, 300 people. No, let's say we talked about maybe let's say 400 people. Let's say 400 people.
Okay.
But they've overextended themselves now. We're looking at 2,000. Say, well, gee whiz, we run capacity. What do they normally do? They normally go to other jurisdictions
Yes.
and rent those beds in other counties. 'Cause we got 34 counties in the state of Oregon, if you will.
Right,
You got me?
right.
And there's got some empty beds there. And that's what they do now. They rent those spots. You got me? So it's already there. So the key is that if they're short, we can. But then on the other hand, if let's say we're in a crisis, the idea, look at it like a earthquake aspect of it.
Okay.
What normally happens when there's an earthquake?
National Guards.
National Guard comes in, right? Got me?
Yes.
And they pick them up and they take them to the guard. They take them to that property there,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And they basically disperse them from there, right? You got me?
Perfect.
So I'm just saying, the idea is to use the National Guard in this particular
State
case
level.
to pick them up.
That's
the
right.
state. That's where the governor. And you're right up front with it. I'm communicating with the governor.
Now,
That's part
right,
of my job.
exactly,
You got my point?
exactly.
Hey, governor, this blah blah blah. And we want to make sure these people are humane. It's not a bunch of people talking about guns.
Right.
You got that gun.
Yeah.
They'll basically, you don't have to worry about no gun. They're picking them up in a humanely way, taking them to that reservation. They're secured there. They got fence there. They're
TriMet
clean,
style buses,
and
just
clean.
everything.
They're going to eat, all that whole 9-yard aspect of it. So now you say, well, okay, fine. Well, what about the people with guns? Well, the sheriff is still involved.
Yeah.
Because the sheriff is there basically making sure that they're checking those people out.
Exactly.
They're there doing the piece. But the people that gets picked up, and then you make the point about, well, okay, fine. Because of the nature of the situation, we still got everything intact aspect of it. In the guard, you identify the troops that are going to be picking those people up. And we try to find as many people in the guard that's from that respective area. From, let's say, the city
Right,
of Portland. You see what I'm
right,
saying?
exactly.
Because they know those people and they got a vested interest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They want to get them out of there too, right?
Yes.
So boom, but they know them. People know them, and guess what? They can. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, think about it. You start off with the city.
Right.
They designate an area as clear. They go to the county. We need some land so we can put some people out temporarily,
Right.
not permanent, temporarily, because we want to get them off the.
Because we're sitting
off
at
there.
that board now. You're
Yeah.
sitting at that board as a city council person right now. See, and we're
Exactly.
discussing this issue. Okay.
And
go
then
ahead.
and then we as we're moving them out there, we're getting them vetted coming into gates, so
Yep.
that way when they're in this community, they're not bringing a whole bunch of weapons with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not bringing a whole bunch of drugs with them, because you remember our laws right now are for minimal drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be cleaning out all the excess drugs
That's
and
right.
all the excess paraphernalia,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to get that cleaned up. So that way we can already start working on getting them unaddicted.
Yep.
And then so at that point, now we bring in our nonprofit organizations,
Yeah.
so they could come in
All those
and say,
services.
"Hey, I got some beds," and then we reach out to those places that have all those beds, and we say, "Hey, we got some people. We need to find a place for them. How you doing for space?" And then, hey, National Guards, we talk to the governor. So it's a team effort. And that's what we're talking about, and that's what I've been trying to work for. And Bruce brought this to my attention. I'm on board. I'm fired. He's got a great idea. And I want to see us as a team work this. I don't need the recognition for making something right.
Same here.
The only thing I want to see is that we get people off the streets, because that's that's inhuman.
Right.
That's inhumane, as you would say.
Right.
And we get them a bed, a place to sleep, some square meals,
Medical.
some clean clothes. Then we get them washed up. We get them some medical treatment if they need it. We take care of them. Portland's always been good about taking care of their people, and I want to see that further.
And that's the system we already have.
And that's
because
exactly.
those same people that you're talking about will also be at the table, because
Right.
we know them, right?
Yes.
You got me?
Yes.
That's all part of the deal. Now let me throw some other little goodies at that, and thinking about some of the issues that will be discussed that will all of a sudden they will be gone. For instance, like the needles.
Right.
Okay, boom. We got Multnomah County. We take care of that part of the deal, right? You
Right.
got me? And so one of the things we'll throw on the table there. Well, guess what? Well, what we do if the needle is a problem and the summer's just right around the corner, people are worried about their kids and their dogs and whatever stepping on those deals and using them and playing games, whatever. Guess what? Hey, look here. Why can't we substitute a pill for those needles? Quit giving them giving them the needles. Very
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
Got me? And then they say, well, Bruce, those drugs, they need some real strong drugs. Then fine. And we already got a system with the pharmacists in these fast food stores, these places like Target and things of that nature, where you get your shots right now, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
even if you want to keep the needles, guess what? They have to go to that entity and get a shot. It's already there.
Yeah. Done.
It's already
We're
there.
done.
Take the needles off the street, right?
And then, actually, hey, why don't we work with the governor at canceling that illegal bill, anyways? Because if you can only have a small amount, you can't have a large amount. That must mean that even with the small amount,
Right.
it's not healthy for you, not healthy for me.
Right.
So let's repeal that.
Right.
Let's get it taken off the books and get rid of it, and then we can get back to doing what's right for
Right,
everyone,
right.
and people can get healed.
Right.
So-
well, the other thing I was going to tell you about was that there's fires and all that. They get a lot of fires, in the brand.
Right.
But I'm thinking about those cannons. I'm thinking about the graffiti now. See, you got me? Look at all that graffiti stuff out there. First off, for a fact that graffiti, you can't really be painting and at night. It has to be during the daylight hours, right?
So,
you got me?
yeah.
See, so guess who gets up first thing in the morning and sees everything?
Right.
The garbage haulers.
Exactly.
The garbage haulers.
They do.
So basically, if they see someone painting the deal, if you will,
Yeah, spray it, yeah.
you basically boom, get on your smartphone, right? Got
Yeah,
me?
there you
Send
go.
it back to dispatcher, and then they can call 911 and get picked up. But we're gonna be humane with the guy that's doing the painting. We're gonna say, okay, fine, we're gonna pick you up. We got two options here. We're gonna contact the Arts Commission of the city and say, look, maybe we can send a class out there and say to some buildings in the area, maybe these guys can paint their own thing on their murals. You got me?
There you go. That's an
Got me?
idea.
See what I'm saying?
To make it look nice.
Look
look
it
nice.
better,
Not
and-
somebody overpainting,
That's
overpainting.
And something that the community and the neighborhood association is part of that deal says, okay, fine, we'll ask the neighbors. So you will make sure that
Yeah.
it's not going to be screwing with anybody's mindset. And then you're going to give the neighbors the opportunity to kind of figure out what kind of murals they want. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You see, just like you were saying, getting folks together with communicating.
Getting involved.
And we're not trying to put them in jail. Now, if a person says, 'cause a lot of times under our present criteria, you ask the homeless, well, what are your preferences? What do you want? In fact, how do you want to live? In fact, what do you want to eat today? You want steaks or eggs? No, you can't do that. No.
No.
So the idea is that you basically say to those individuals, okay, fine, we're vetting you. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. We got a problem here.
Yeah.
You can't. And then the trash thing from now on. Now take this out. 75% of the trash is going to be gone. Why? Because under the days we got these services handing this food out in bags and all kinds of stuff. And guess what they do? They go back to their tent. And after they get through eating, what do? They just throw it out there.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's
They
where
ain't
most
going
of
back.
That's
They
where
ain't going
most
back
of
to
the
the
trash.
tent.
No, see, and most of the trash is gone, right?
Right,
See,
exactly.
So the key is that when you take people off the deal, there's only one cleanup. Then guess what you do? You use another. The largest pickup of garbage in our state is
Right.
Solve.
You know,
Remember the goodies?
Yeah.
Named Solve, right?
Yes.
But you can't have the Solve office picking up, especially like downtown, picking up urine and stuff. People that crap. They can't.
Right.
You can't do that. And needles and whatever.
Right.
No. What you do, you organize as such. So consequently, those folks who might be picking it up now, they're using criminals to pick that stuff up.
Right.
And paying them that way. And then they can't do it all the time, right?
Right.
And a lot of times, they basically are looking for drugs when they're doing it. So they use the needle. So the key is that you can't do that kind of deal. We go with what we got, but you go with some of those services that are picking it up right now, and you put them together with the Haulers Association, and the haulers get responsible to train them beyond that, and they create jobs for those people.
We get them off the streets. Now they're earning an income.
That's right.
Now they can afford a house
That's
or
right.
rent a place
That's right.
or what
That's
an
right.
apartment.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and
That's
so
right. That's right.
Yeah,
And we're not just cleaning up just for downtown. We're cleaning up the entire city.
exactly.
And
And
we
that's like we start. We start in a circle.
Right.
And then we branch out.
That's
you know, you struck on something when you're talking about feeding.
Right.
When I was a child, I used to go over here to Columbia Park, and they would bring lunch for the low-income families, and it was kind of nice. But guess what? You had to eat lunch right there.
Yep.
And then when you were done, you had to put your trash
right there.
Right there.
That's right.
You know, nothing left the area,
That's
so
right.
nothing could be on the streets, and we kept it clean.
Right.
So that's a great idea. I love it. You're bringing back an old program that kind of dissipated
Right.
for whatever reason,
Right.
and now we're going to bring it in and start utilizing it. And hey, it's not difficult.
It's not- no,
it's
it's
not
not difficult.
reinventing the wheel.
No,
It's just using stuff that's already been there.
That's right.
And that's what we're about.
That's
we
right.
want to use what's
right.
available to
That's
us
right.
because we want to cut taxes.
That's right.
We don't.
That's
and
right.
you said earlier we have
That's
an
right.
abundance of
That's
tax
right.
money.
That's right. No, big time, big time.
And so,
That's right.
that needs to go back to the citizens, the taxpayers' pocket.
And your food thing that you're talking about, think about it. Now we got a big organization, a big service entity called Food Bank,
Yes.
sitting
yes,
right
we
over
do.
off of Marine Drive. They got a lot
Yeah.
of land there, but that's where they do the food thing. They train. They basically get all this stuff. Everything should go to them as far
Right.
as food. Got my point?
Right.
They should basically put it all together, stock it up, and this, that, and the other, and actually bring folks in and train them how to use food. A lot of folks can't cook today. Everybody just runs to the fast food deal.
It's simple. I mean, and what better if you're working and you're really living a busy life?
Yeah.
You pull out your credit card, you pay for it, and you move on.
That's right.
But what happens to that person who doesn't have a job?
That's right.
So that there's a struggle.
See, so if they had that food bank there aspect of it, they would process the food and this, that, and the other, and even Meal on Wheels and aspect
Right,
of it.
right.
They could deliver
Another great
that to the
place.
various entities, and in fact, they could even deliver it to the armory. Where
Yeah.
we're vetting folks, you see what I
Right,
mean? So that
exactly.
means that the military don't have to worry about doing that big time mass cooking. If they have an overflow, they can cook there too, by the way.
Yeah.
But if they needed more, they could just take it from the food bank aspect of it.
Right.
We want to control that garbage, right?
Exactly,
You got me?
exactly.
We're going to control that garbage. So that's I want to throw that piece out there also too that we wanted to do.
Right.
Aspect of it. And then as far as mental illness, we need a building. We
You
got to
know-
have a building, not downtown. We need a building, and I'm throwing something out to you from my end of it in terms of involvement. I said, okay, I didn't like the idea of them selling the Wapato piece, okay?
Right.
And it's away from everything.
Yeah, and it's
away
out
from
there.
everything.
Yeah,
And
it's out
quiet. It's a beautiful facility. It's quiet.
Right.
Got me? And we don't need no maximum major bus transportation piece over there. No, these folks are sick. They need help. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
So the key is that let's focus on making sure we do that piece. Now I'm saying to the original owner, I said, well, Bruce, we already sold it to gentleman Snizer,
Something like that.
Snitzer,
Yeah.
Snitzer, Gordon Snitzer. Okay, fine. Yeah, he's a businessman. He bought the thing.
Yeah, he saw a deal.
Yeah, it was about $80 million that he called, but he got it for $5 million. That's a pretty good deal. You know what I mean?
It's a serious good
but
deal.
you can't go to any bank and say, well, look, here's the equity on this deal. Well, I'd buy it too. Wouldn't you buy it?
Oh yeah,
With no problem.
Heck yeah.
If they give you credit, it's got. But my point is that the way the system is done, it doesn't do. They should be open up to everybody for that matter.
Right.
See, and that's not happening. That's another thing that I've got to take care of when I'm in the county. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
In terms of this
Okay.
whole program. But I'm saying what I was going to do is going to give him a call and say, look here, because he still owns the building.
Right.
He's got an agency that's in there that's providing
That's-
deal. But that agency, they're doing a pretty good job. But the thing is that the people that are in there are working and they're making money. So they're basically paying rent.
Exactly.
They're paying rent. So if they're paying rent, I'm saying, okay, fine. The county, and there was something I didn't like, the idea of doing another refurbishing a building downtown.
For the purpose of making beds.
For mixing bed and this and then I'm saying, hey, wait a minute, that's not the way we want to go. We do not want homeless again situation downtown.
Yeah.
So if some people can pay for that money, just transfer. They can transfer that situation over there.
Yes.
Or better yet, the person who's running that deal send them to the Housing Authority of Portland. That's what you guys do.
Right.
And let these people apply. Let them apply through them and get on the list.
Get on the list. Get going.
Because
yes.
those people are working, not making money. So
Right.
in all due respect, we don't need that one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you know, and
hire the guy who's running it, put him in the appointment. I'm sending you. If the guy's good, put him on that staff.
and why not when we're getting these people into beds? Why not run a TriMet bus over there and say,
Yeah,
okay, you guys,
no problem.
you're a healthy young man. Yeah, you guys are great. Come on, we're putting you to work. We're going to give you at least minimum wage. We're going to get you out there cleaning up these streets.
Yep.
You know, and
To
you're
the
going to
garbage
earn a
haulers.
wage.
What, to the garbage haulers?
Yeah.
See, you put a percentage of their staff because they're getting contracts from the city.
Right.
From you,
Right,
you guys,
exactly.
and you just say, "Okay, look here. I tell you what, 2% or 5% of your staff out there has to be these kinds of folks here that have
That's
been
right.
vetted. That's been vetted. Right.
They're clean now.
They're
They're
clean
off
and
the
this-
drugs.
that's
They're
right,
they're
that's
not.
right.
They don't have a mental
That's
illness. You know, that
right,
isn't
that's right,
controlled
that's
by
right, that's right.
by the medicine of
That's
some
right,
sort.
that's right.
So we can utilize
That's
their
right.
and then get people working
That's
so
right.
they feel good about themselves and they feel like they're a part of
That's right,
the
that's right,
society
that's right,
and
that's
they're
right.
working for a
we,
betterment.
and we'll help you. You're a private entrepreneur, and you're just hiring them for the first time. Guess what? We'll stick around with you for 6 months. If
Yeah,
the person is not
yeah.
right, we'll take that one and put another one in there,
There you go.
and we'll pay. We'll pick up the tab. You see what I'm saying? Got me?
Well, and even at doing
Work it
that,
out.
we're still cutting costs
Oh, yeah,
because
big time.
we're not paying for all
Oh,
these people
yeah.
to be on
Oh,
the street.
oh,
We're
yes.
not buying free
Yes.
tents and
Yes.
you know, and we're not
Yes.
buying the
Yes.
needles and the drugs
Yes.
anymore.
Yes.
So we are saving the taxpayers big time.
Yes. Yes.
And so in that process, as we're giving a kickback, we still have a little money to say, okay, we're covering that guy because he
Yes.
didn't work out for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
So we're going to find something else for him.
Yes.
Get someone else in here
Yes.
for you.
Yes. Yes.
Be right
yes.
on that.
Yes.
I'm
You got
seeing
me?
that. I'm liking that.
See, and then that other piece that we talked about, you guys are doing this, and that is that when you pick up these folks before you take them to jail, you basically take all of the contents that they're there, and put them in a box and stack them up. And
Itemize it and-
that's where all the rats are coming, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And in fact, in all due respect, once that person leaves and goes into in that system with the sheriff and puts him in jail, he didn't clean clothes. He doesn't want. He's not going to come on in and wear this old stuff after he gets out, even the first day.
Yeah, you know,
He's gone.
don't they get them new clothes so when they come out, they're into society,
Yeah,
they're not in the rags they
that's
used
right.
to
They
wear.
got clean stuff.
They got
clean
clean, fresh
That's
stuff,
right.
and they're ready to go.
So I'm saying, okay, what we'll do, maybe with that piece, okay, fine. When we're picking all that stuff up, we're saying no. You can't put it nowhere. Aspect of it, it's all garbage and this, that, and the other. It's unsanitary and this, that, and the other. No, it's trash. I mean, if it's something physically like metal and stuff like that one can recycle, you got
Yeah.
my point?
Yeah.
Then you set that aside. But then once you get that money, that becomes part of that little money when they get out of
Right.
that situation.
They've got that.
They've got-
They're when they're working.
Put that in their checking
They're
account.
working for paying their debt to
right,
society,
that's right.
and then a portion of their check
That's
goes
right.
into a savings account. So
That
when
they
they're
get-
done with their debt
That's
to
right.
society,
There you
they've
go.
got something
That's
to
right.
work with.
That's right.
I'm on that. I like that.
So I guess where I'm coming from, is that I'm sitting there and I'm asking the other commissioners, do the same thing. They should be asked, what is that solution? What do you plan to do?
Well, and the plan says, hey, we're going to put a little money up
Right.
to help these people out, but the plan is to get them to earn their keep.
That's right.
It's not about always us giving a handout.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our government is enabling them to live on the streets. They don't want to move. I wouldn't want to move if somebody's going to
No
enable
light
me
bills.
to have
no light bills, no nothing.
no
I get free
expenses.
food.
Exactly.
In fact, on that free food stuff and even material and whatever, nowadays you can just walk in any grocery store, whether it be Fred Meyer, or whether it be Appleton or
Right.
whatever, and you can just walk in and just walk out with the bag of it, and they won't do anything.
Nope.
And that's the criteria for the business. But the business folks are basically saying, okay, fine, we'll just write it off.
Well, and see, and actually they don't write it off. What they do is they write it into the product that's left behind.
Goes up.
So the prices go up.
Goes up.
Everything gets
There you
raised
go.
up.
There you go.
So who pays for it?
There you go. The
We
voting
do.
public. There you go.
The
There you
voting
go.
republic, yes.
And I'm going to take a little short break here now, and basically I'm going to just share with you the fact, look at what we're doing right here now, Joseph and I. He's got something in front of his name. He's running for city council, okay? Got me? And he's got solutions, and that's a very important piece. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, he understands what the problem is. That's why he's running for office. He got a resume, okay? That kind of a deal. And we're having a discussion because the county is it, not am I just a talk show host, I've got something in the front of my name. I'm running for chair of Multnomah County.
Yes.
And I'm not being selfish about my solution. I'm saying, hey, if these other members are looking at the show and they like the idea, they can take it as long as they run with it.
Yeah. Let's bring solution to
I just
Portland.
wanna
That's what
get
we're
it
looking
done.
for.
Yeah, I just want to get it done. I don't necessarily have to get elected. I'm elected. I was elected when I first signed my name because I had solution. And I'm talking about it. See?
Yeah.
Got me?
We're sharing it.
At
letting
the end of the
people know.
cycle, I benefit because guess what? It goes up for me as far as groceries and gas and all that kind of stuff that I have to deal
If we
with.
can bring the price of products
Oh,
down
gee
by
whiz.
cleaning up our streets,
Oh,
bringing back our law enforcement,
right. That's
and making life civil.
exactly.
Again, we have done our job.
Exactly, because there's other services I'm interested in. You know, as I wear my cover, I'm a disabled vet aspect of it, but there are a lot of veterans, and the county basically actually service the great majority of the veterans in the
Right.
state. We've got the largest county naturally, so we got a lot of veterans. A lot of veterans are sitting out there in the streets and having problems.
And
mental
speaking
illness.
of
said-
veterans, nonprofit Mission 22, they are doing a great job at helping out our veterans,
yes, they
and
are.
so
Yep,
we, there's another organization
Yep,
that we can
VFW.
bring in,
Yep,
and we got the VFW,
I'm a member
exactly.
of the VFW, I'm a lifetime member of VFW, and we're constantly. In fact, I get a 2 or 3 boxes of food once a month,
Right.
from my organization, and I deliver them to veterans. You got my point? And so I'm asking the question of the county that exists right now. I want to know what you're doing for the money that the government, i.e., voters, are giving the county to take care of veterans along this, that, and the other.
Right.
And then I'm sort of matching that with the VA.
See, and what's wrong about this is veterans who have given up their
Oh, yeah.
life
Oh, yeah.
to defend this country so we can have the things that we want, the nice cars, the nice house,
Yeah.
the fast foods, and they're living on the streets now. I just am not comfortable with that.
And you
we
notice
need to end that.
I waved this flag aspect of it, and then that's another issue that I had, and that's why I wear my gear. That's why I wear my pendants that I have on my
Right.
jacket and
Yes.
whatever, to let them know that I was a bona fide veteran, certified Vietnam. I did my job, if you will, and I had my issues and whatever. But the bottom line is that in order to recognize, that's what this flag talks about.
Yeah.
This flag talks about this. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to make sure that under the system, anytime there was a government meeting of any sort, there was always a pledge of allegiance to the flag and a prayer.
Important.
Everyone.
Important.
Very, very important. That's our history, because you can talk about because the kids as they coming up. Well, where's the flag? That's why they basically do the Pledge of Allegiance and raise the flag every morning, starting in grade school. Remember that?
Kindergarten,
Kindergarten, that's right,
preschool,
right off the bat.
That was one of the first things that we had to learn.
Exactly. This is the one-stop deal. This is not with all
Yeah.
the diversities and things that we have with people. This is this one flag here.
One
and we
flag.
understand it. So we gotta do that. So one of the things I've been trying to do was trying to get the county, being the chair, but I've been going up there sitting in the voter's chair, which I only have 3 minutes. I have
You're
3
right,
minutes there. And
exactly.
the other folks, they got as many minutes as they want, right?
Right.
So I've been lobbying to get the chair. Well, the chair, Deborah Kafori, she's been very neat about it. She's allowed me to do this aspect because she's a chair.
Right.
But now I'm saying I'm a chair right now. See, I'm one of seven chairs, and I'm saying one of the things about my platform is that I want to get this back. I want to put that flag back to the table aspect of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm chair, I'm going to demand that the other commissioners will take 1 month each to basically lead the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Yeah.
You okay?
It's we should be proud of our country.
Yes.
I mean, it isn't perfect by any means.
right,
We've
that's
seen
right.
a lot of problems
That's right.
throughout the years, and we're still
That's
seeing
right.
problems. Look at
That's
today.
right. That's right.
But we should be able to come to the table
Yeah.
underneath this flag
yeah.
because it's given us
Yeah.
the right to do what
Yep,
we're
yep,
doing
yep,
today.
yep,
Have
yep,
this
yep.
discussion, this
Yep,
round
yep,
table
yep,
discussion. And so it shouldn't be a hassle. This shouldn't be
No, it shouldn't
the
be, yeah.
focus. What should be the focus is people coming together to discuss what is real,
Exactly.
the reality of life, and what can we do to improve it for
Exactly.
everyone.
Exactly. And Joe, check this out, and you're gonna like this. Now, when people look at the present county commissioner now, and even let's say I'm running now, we got 7, right?
Yeah.
And we've always been talking about affirmative action. We've always talked about diversity.
Right.
And what do we do? Because we've been going through the 10% and all this, that, and the other. At some point in time, we got to be progressive, right? You think? You got me?
Well,
but
you know,
look at the county.
Progression is important.
Right, it's very. But check this out. Look at the county. Look at the makeup of the county right now today.
Right.
Okay, and I'll start off with the present county aspect of it. We got 4 commissioners, and 1 chair, 4 district commissioners. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
4 district commissioners in the chair. Yeah.
And here's the representation. You got a Jewish woman.
Okay.
You got a Latino woman.
Yeah.
You got an Asian woman,
Yeah.
and you got an Indian woman.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And then you got the chair, who's a white woman.
Correct.
So you got all these folks. Now, where's the majority? With all this other entity, right?
Yeah.
The only way they're going to understand what the real majority is right here.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that they join this group.
Yes.
And that's where I keep putting this piece. It's a problem, and I'm saying, hey, you know, I'm a patriot. I'm an American now, right up front with you, because I've gone through that system aspect of it. So my point is that's why I do this piece, because I'm saying, and I'm noticed, and they're fighting me constantly. Not a one of them I've gone to each one of them and said, look, would you lead the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? Would you lead? And each one of them denied. Said, no way. They didn't want to talk with me about it.
How long does
Said
that take?
the
How
only-
long does that take? 60 seconds?
That's right. That's right.
90 at max?
That's right. That's right. And I'm just saying. So I'm just saying to you, I'm not getting angry at them more than I am saying, because I understand it.
Right.
It's my job to stay in that seat and keep telling them.
That's right.
But now as chair, that's different, because I'll have something in front of my name.
Yeah, now you can just bring it back and
That's
set it
right.
down.
Or if not that, guess what? Something's gonna happen with whether it be, I don't know, whatever it is, but you're gonna respond to what I share with you. I'm the CO now, right? You
Yeah,
got me? See what I'm
exactly.
saying? And I'm not trying to mean, and I'm saying this will help you, because when you're running for office, wearing another hat that I'm wearing, and because some of the folks that are running for office right now, the only one that's running for office right is district number 2. Very important. The district 2 person should be sitting at the table while we're having this discussion.
Right.
But realistically, she can't, because
Yeah.
she doesn't have the background.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the background. The majority of the people that are sitting out there in that street are these kind of folks.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that these folks get taken care of first.
That we should all be making sure
because
that.
that's part of our whole.
Exactly.
Am I right? You got
exactly.
me? See what I'm
We're
saying?
here because of the
Yes.
people that support that.
See, we're just providing the monies. When these people come to this country, they get the free education, they get
Right.
the free housing,
Right.
they get the free food. You can run for office. And, I mean, look at all the folks that are getting elected to office today without that background. They need to know what this flag is all about. And I'm saying this even to the Ukraine people. I mean, it's my understanding now we're taking more folks in.
Right.
Got me? Right
Because
in front
of
with you got me?
because of the war.
And maybe some people might say, well, maybe because they got white skin, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just being
Yeah,
upfront. That's a fact.
It's a good possibility,
Yeah.
you know. But
But-
I tend to lean on that one. It's more because of the war, but
But understand what I'm saying?
yes, I
Still.
do. I can still
Yeah.
see your point of view in that.
Yes.
And so we have to, the word, what's that? The phrase I'm looking for is we want to make sure that we're welcoming, but now then we make it equal for others to come here also.
But make sure that
then when they show up
Yes.
here, this is what they're
Right.
They're taking an oath
Exactly.
to this country
Exactly.
under this flag,
Exactly.
and they're supporting it
Exactly.
100% because this is
Exactly.
what's going to set them free
Exactly.
in this country.
Exactly.
Because we all know that what sets us free
That's right.
is the God above.
And that's part of the payback. You've gotten all these assets coming
Right.
in this country.
Right.
What have you given back, if you will?
There you go. Right.
All we
You
want
know?
you to do is to recognize how you were able to get here.
Right.
You see, and I
Yes.
think that's a very important. Then we get away from that separation of races, that black and white thing, because that's real. It's real black and
That's-
white.
oh, it is.
We're the one that build this goddamn country.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
but-
From the ground up.
But so we need to define what's going down right here. So my point is, this makes it easier, if you will.
Yes.
Okay.
This brings us together.
That's right. So we're having this discussion, right? We're
Amen.
talking about this deal. This is what it's all about. So it look like I got the city on possibly talking, and the city's educating the county,
Right.
and then we're also educating the other counties that
And
are
the smaller
districtized,
cities.
that are districtized.
Right,
Got me? And
right.
we got a representative for each district. Now the city is already going through a process right now where they're trying to districtize.
Exactly.
And we can talk about that a
And
little bit. That's on your watch because
Yeah.
you guys have gotten together, the folks that are sitting right now, but you're at that table now
Yeah.
because you're running for office, right?
Right,
You got me?
right.
So the key is that you guys need to be talking about this stuff from the standpoint, is that going to really work to solving the problems in the city of Portland
No.
with what they're proposing? And for, 3 commissioners, 3 city councilmen for each district.
And there's six districts in the city of Portland.
There's going to be 6 districts.
Yes.
And a manager. What do you call it?
A city manager.
A city manager.
A
You're
city
gonna
manager,
and
yep.
you're going to keep the mayor too.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Now
You know,
because
I'm not fond of it at all.
Okay.
It's a bad deal. One is it's going to be a hefty tax burden on the citizens. So I just don't think that that's a positive for the city of Portland. Next off, now you're going to run 3 people for each district. We don't know how they're going to work together. We don't know if it's going to make it easier. Right now we have 4 commissioners, 5 if you count the mayor because he's the commissioner of the police department. So technically we have 5, and then the mayor wears 2 hats, like you like to say, 2 hats, and then we have the city auditor. So technically we have 6 people.
Okay.
6 physical people, 7 seats. And they seem to work together, whether I agree with what they're doing or not, they seem to be working together okay. But the work they're doing, they seem to be able to get it done, though I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right, but they're doing it. Well, the next team that comes in there, the next commissioners, the next mayor, we can all do the same thing at less tax dollars to the consumer, to the voter. And that's my goal. We don't want to break these down and divide all these things up, because then what's that sound like? Divide?
Mm-hmm.
We're already facing division now. And now let's just add more to it. I don't agree
Let
with
me
it.
ask you a question. Well,
Sure.
first off, you got something in your shirt. Look like,
Uh-oh.
and then you got something written on. You got a T-shirt. What you got going up there?
Well, so,
What's the deal?
in our society today, especially in my life, you have many hats, you wear things.
Yeah, I got my flag.
So-
what are you showing?
I'm doing a lot of stuff, and today I've just been running around doing a bunch of different things.
Okay.
And it's like, you know what? I'm wearing the shirt. It says what my life has become
Open
as
it
I'm
up.
fighting,
You're
and I
simple,
plan
man.
on it.
What was it?
It says life in the fast lane.
Life in the fast lane.
So
awesome.
And that's what we're doing today.
yeah,
You and I are both. We're in that fast lane trying to win this city over.
For the people.
For the people.
Yeah.
Not for myself.
That's right. That's
I've
right.
jumped into this race because let me tell you, folks, next month I'm eligible for retirement. I can just go away and
wow.
enjoy my
Oh,
life
wow.
and
This
not
guy's
have to
good.
worry about this. But I'm hanging retirement up because I believe that I can fight for you. I can do what's right for you, and we can make a difference. Men like this, working on the same team, working around the same table, fighting for you to make change, cleaning up our streets, bringing back our law enforcement officers, getting rid of the drugs. Let's do this. Fighting crime. Let's spiff off our city, make it desirable again. Is that getting rid of the graffiti? Is that making the graffiti look more like a mural so it looks nice, one that everybody will appreciate?
And have signed off on it.
And yes,
And
exactly.
create jobs.
There you go. And so, and if there are young artists out there who can
Yeah,
do some of this
yeah.
stuff, some of those murals out there
Yeah,
are pretty
yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
So let's what we're doing, make Portland a better place. My slogan for my campaign is let's do Portland justice.
Good.
So I'm asking you to help me do Portland justice.
That's right.
And then we'll continue working together because I'm only as strong as the people that I have supporting me. And if you're not there to support, my strength goes down.
Okay. Now on that note, we were discussing before we got into the T-shirt and whatever about the reorganization of the city aspect of
Right.
it. Maybe let me ask you a question. Why are we doing that? I mean, I know that the argument that's being shared with the majority of us right now is that we're the last city that has this particular structure and blah 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 blah. But no one talks about why are we doing what we're doing. I mean, recognizing how much it's going to cost us and the confusion with 3 people in one district. If we're having confusion right now with 4 people
Right.
saying that they're mayor for the whole city, that's basically like saying you're going to have a little mayorship in each district.
It's all about control. So and that's how I see this. And when I read some of the articles that I've read, it's all about control. So if we break these
But
districts
who's going to
down,
control?
Government.
Government who? Now remember
No.
it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Well-
I don't feel comfortable in saying that, hey, I'm not involved. I'm not involved in the thing. I'm not being included.
So
as
a people, we aren't involved. Have they come to your door and said, "Hey, you want to sit down at my table and hear about this?"
No, they just- no.
I had to hear about it from you. So why is that I'm hearing about it from you? Why isn't that I'm not hearing about from my government about doing these things? Then I go up and I start looking and I see that there's some reports here and there, but it's not really out there front, for all of us to see. We need more accountability at the government level. And if they continue down this road, they're going to be able to stack
gonna be crazy.
everything for themselves and nothing for the people, the voter. And so I'm a firm believer that we stay where we're at, and we define this job, and we make it again. I serve you. I'm not serving my government. You're not serving your government. You are asking the government to serve you, do what's best for the community as a whole. And we have to come together and decide what's best. And, it should be on the ballot. I believe it's going to be. I'm not 100%
but not now.
positive.
It's still discussing.
Yeah.
I guess my point is, here they are discussing something, and we got the summer right on us right now. These issues are going to hit us again, big time again.
And we have so much more stuff that's important.
Oh, yes,
more
yes.
important to
Well,
take
right,
care
right,
of
yeah, like I
than to
said,
worry
yeah.
about
We
dividing
got them
and splitting
shootings.
and adding more
shootings,
people and
that's right.
having special elections
right.
so we can fill those seats.
Well, let's talk about another solution piece from the standpoint of who else should be involved, should be sitting at the table.
Let's do this.
It's called the media.
Right?
The media is going to have to get up and make statements, cover this stuff, and then share it with the public as a whole.
And I want the media only to share the facts. Do not share their biased opinion. I've lost my faith in our news medias and papers and stuff because to me, it's more about their opinion of how we should see and how we should do something instead of the facts of the case.
Well, let me tell you, on that same point, guess what's happening? We can part of the solving that problem for the media. They can keep doing that, reporting the news,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But don't interview one person at a time.
There,
Open it up to the public as a whole.
Yeah.
So when we're having this round table discussion, we may
Right.
get the Coliseum or find some place big enough because we can't be Zoom. We have to Zoom now to a certain degree.
Right.
But the idea, get a location where you can get the city and the county to bail, or if not that, get the city to talk about this issue, this, that, and
Right.
get everybody around the table like they're doing now at city. But my point is that media is not there. I mean, they may look at, but basically what they do is that when they see the Zoom meeting, if you will, of the city commissioners, they basically go to each one of them and interview.
Right.
They should be given play a role of asking questions then.
Yes. Not after the fact.
Not after the fact.
Not after the fact.
So they are
While we're
very-
all sitting at the table,
That's
sitting
right.
in front of them.
They should be, because they represent us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the people. We want to know what's going on. And once they write it up, fine. And they got several different newspapers. Why not? I want the newspaper. I like this. I like my coffee with my newspaper.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Now, naturally, the young folks like this. It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's there too.
Yeah.
You got my point? And then you got TV. So we got the whole thing covered. But the idea is you got to get media involved because that's the communication. Because they don't know how to read this. This is all. If you got money, you can hire someone to make you look good.
Right.
Got me?
Right.
But the bottom line is that, and I'm being straight up with you. With me, I've been in this business for quite some. I've learned through running for office.
Since I've only been doing this, this is my second chance at running, my second candidacy. So I ran for mayor back in 2020. And in that process, one of the things that the media didn't do was take me serious as a serious candidate. And I believe that no matter who you are, if you are taking the time to
Yep.
leave your private life
Yep.
and step out into the public life to run for a position, the media needs to cover you. They need to give you a spot so you can be heard by the rest of the world or the city that you're in and give you a voice. But the media is not doing that. They pick the candidates they want to see, and then they talk to those only.
Here's a good example right here, and I like them. I like Willamette Week because they've got a different style. But here's the Multnomah County chair, and I was part of that interview aspect. of it.
Right.
And long item. They endorsed Jessica Vega Peterson. I'm making a name. There it is, right there. And they've talked about all of the commissioners and whatever. I mean, just big time.
Right.
And this is I was there. By the way, they never talked about the issues, okay? And this is how they introduced me. Okay, perennial candidate Bruce Broussard is also running. That's it.
Wow.
And all we've shared today.
How long have we been here talking?
Let's do that one more time. They got two big columns right here, and they're talking about each of these commissioners, and it just says on me, and trust me, that's another issue. But I'm not in it. But I'm just telling them where they are,
Right.
and I'm still including them and saying this is the wrong way to do it. You do it the other way. I got that idea about the other part, but Bruce Broussard, perennial candidate Bruce Broussard is also running. I'm no perennial candidate. I'm a candidate.
Yeah.
A person can run with 90,000 times, but no. Understand what I'm saying. That's why I make the point very clear. Look here, as part of the application process, you got to make sure that the application is part of the resume is part of the deal. Gee whiz, we write it down. You got to be here next week anyway.
Right
We're
on.
done.
I will.
Well, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, folks, you know where we're coming from. Take care. Share this with your public. Take care. See you next week. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Vote
Please vote.
and read.
Joseph Whitcombs, City Council.
Bruce Broussard, County Chair.